Hey everybody, it's Leanne here. I'm joined by CJ.
Hey everyone, how are y'all?
I'm really sorry that we're late. I lost internet again, so I'm back in the neighbour's house again. So today we're doing something.
At least I didn't have to rap. She said if the internet had gone out, I'd have to rap.
Oh yeah, you have to rap or tell jokes. I think people are like
Yeah.
good with either. So we're trying something else again, to get away from the Blake Lively of everything. And we have found some unusual laws that are still in force in many cases in various countries across the world. And we are going to start with America, because there were some really good ones in there. I did the Canada. I did the Canada one the other day, right? I put the slides together for the Canada one I do.
Mm-hmm.
Canada are just nuts. Like, I love Canadians, but some of the unusual laws they've got are absolutely out there, and I exceeded my, I had a plan for no more than 30 slides and I went beyond it because there was just so many and I couldn't choose. So that's going to be an exciting one to do. Let's have a look.
Canada. What other countries have you looked at?
I've looked at the UK.
Oh, okay. UK, Canada, and US.
Italy and the US. Yeah, I've done Italy as well.
Oh, okay.
As starting points, yeah. Absolutely fascinating because you want to check out some of these countries to see if there's going to be enough there worth doing a show. But yeah, there's no problem there. All of those countries have got more than enough. So this is supposed to be just an educational thing. It's a bit of fun and kind of trivia, really. And we're going to see how it goes. But yeah, a word of warning. I'm not feeling overly well today still. I wasn't feeling well yesterday. I was hoping to be better, but I'm not.
I was calling it the Blake flu because Bocce got it over on TikTok. If y'all don't know Bocce Go Hawks, she covers Blake Lively, and she was super sick.
Oh yeah, bless her.
So she's on the mend now, and then y'all remember when I got real sick. So I'm hoping it's not the Blake flu.
You were really unwell as well, weren't you? But then Cassie
I don't know, 10 days to get better. It's like the longest flu I've had. Yeah, it took me a while to get better.
I think I'm at the start of it, but yeah, just not feeling.
That's how I started too, just not feeling that good, and then yeah, it went from 0 to 60 the next day. I'm hoping that's not it.
Oh, thank you, Jessica Lisi. That's really sweet. Yes, Neil, she absolutely is. Cheers.
Oh, she said curses.
Oh, it's nice to get away from her. Although, myself and DFJ will be doing our questions and answers, and we'll be talking about everything, including the whole set of filings over Isabella Ferrer and the James Fatuska declaration as well today, which really annoyed me. I think that annoyed me more than Isabella Ferrer's filing, actually.
Yeah, the way he flip-flops, it's so weird. No. It was and it was such word salad. I'm like, did Ryan write this? It was super word salad. It was I didn't say it, but if I did, I said it like this. But when I did, I didn't say it like that. I'm like, what is he talking about?
I know. I've been saying, haven't I not, right? Every time I write something on one of his filings for the entire duration of his involvement in this case, I feel like I think I've said I don't get this guy. He changes his story. I don't like it. There's something about him I just feel is very dishonest. But yeah, that felt like quite a gratuitous filing today, though. Because he'd already said, "Well, I made a mistake," and blah 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 in his declaration in June. This felt like it was unnecessary to kind of say, "Hey, judge, they're misleading the court." But there we go. We are getting away from Blake today.
Yes, we are.
So I'm just shutting the door. Sorry. So today we are looking at the unusual laws of the United States of America. So this isn't going to be absolutely every law, and I have got them in alphabetical order of state where possible. But it's just something a bit light-hearted, a bit fun. If you like it, do let us know in the comments. And if there's any particular country you want us to look at or you're interested in, let us know.
I was interested in Spain. I wonder, like, if they have any crazy laws up there.
They do. I will do Spain. I will put together slides for Spain. We will definitely be covering Spain.
Cool.
Right. I'm going to make this full screen so people can see. It is largely just us reading the slide. Can you see the slides, CJ?
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's not going to be too much to add. It's just really basically I wrote the slides. The a lot of the images, well, no, all of the images actually in these ones are AI, but the slides were written by myself. So, and they are really like I will be reading from them. Let's have a look. I never know how to use this. Can everyone see that? Hi, everyone.
I can see it.
Yeah, you can see it. Oh, just because it's, yeah, I'm hoping it'll be fun. This kind of stuff interests me. Because there is a humorous side to law. It's not all stuffed shirts and, aggressive tactics. There is a fun side to it. So, many strange laws linger on the books across the United States. So, I got a bit dramatic. Silent relics of forgotten times or odd incidents that once prompted legislation. Though these laws are rarely, if ever, enforced, they remain technically valid. These legislative curiosities offer a fascinating glimpse into America's past, revealing the concerns, values, and occasionally bizarre preoccupations of bygone eras. Today we'll explore 20. I think there ended up being more, by the way, because I did put in more. Today we'll explore 20 of the most bizarre laws that you could technically still be charged with violating, though you'd be rather unlucky to find yourself in court for most of these offences. All right, let me see. I'm struggling here with my laptop without a keyboard. So we're starting with Alabama. Now, Alabama has what's called church decorum. It is illegal to wear a fake moustache in church if it causes laughter amongst the congregation. Okay. This law was like,
We're starting out strong, okay?
Oh, we get so much worse. This law was likely intended to maintain the sanctity of religious services. Then there's another law. You are not allowed to play dominoes on a Sunday. This is one of many blue laws designed to enforce religious observance of the Sabbath. And this should not need a law because it's obvious, but it's also illegal to drive whilst blindfolded.
It's absolutely forbidden.
Yeah. Whilst the necessity of this law might seem obvious, it suggests that someone once attempted this dangerous feat. These laws reflect Alabama's historical emphasis on religious propriety and public safety, though they are now considered quaint relics of a different era. So I've got slides to go into a bit more detail with each of these ones, with funny photos. Well, AI images. Though in Alabama, wearing a fake moustache that causes laughter during church services is prohibited by law. This peculiar restriction likely dates back to when maintaining proper decorum in religious settings was considered paramount. The law reflects a time when disrupting church services was considered not just rude, but legally punishable. Whilst this statute remains technically valid, it's highly unlikely anyone has been prosecuted under it in modern times. So, there's a little note here, legal curiosity. Many such novelty laws stem from specific incidents that prompted legislators to act, though the original context has been lost to history. So I can't explain why some of these laws are in force, or why they, even if they've been repealed, why they were, created at the time. Some of them got an explanation, which is amusing, but I can't explain this one.
So everyone's shaved at church in Alabama.
No, it's just fake mustaches, and if it makes someone laugh.
Oh, so it's not.
If you wear if you wear a fake mustache and no one laughs, you're good by the sounds of it. Dominoes on Sundays. So this curious Alabama law prohibits playing dominoes on Sundays, alongside similar restrictions on hunting, card games, and other leisure activities. And again, this regulation stems from historical blue laws, which were designed to enforce religious observance of Sabbath. So I think obviously this is, this is during a time when religious observance was, highly prioritized. While largely enforced today, this statute reflects how deeply religious principles were once embedded in local governance throughout North America. Similar Sunday restrictions once prohibited everything from selling alcohol to operating businesses. The dominoes prohibition highlights tensions between religious tradition and secular governance, community standards and individual liberty, historical moral regulations, and modern legal principles. These seemingly trivial regulations provide valuable insights into how communities once legislated morality and structured time according to religious calendars. So,
well, it's like they prioritize religion, which is what you said in there. They took it very seriously, because the mustache thing, they don't want nobody laughing in church, and in this one, no dominoes.
Exactly.
So
this one,
play Mexican dominoes every Sunday.
Yeah.
She's like, I can't. She's like, what? Not in Alabama. You can't.
Not in Alabama. So Alabama's traffic code specifically prohibits operating a motor vehicle whilst blindfolded. Now, that's a regulation that seems like common sense, but it raises questions about why a specific prohibition was necessary. Historical context suggests this law may have emerged from a few factors. Early 20th century concerns about reckless driving behaviours, possible instances of dangerous stunts or dares involving blindfolded driving, and a desire to establish clear legal precedent for obviously dangerous driving practices. So, it sounds obvious, but sometimes you do have to still have laws in place, because, it's like speeding. It should not be. You should not drinking. Right? You should not need to be told not to drink and drive.
Mm-hmm.
But you still need a law in place, because people still do it. And there are people who do ridiculous things like dares and stunts and things. America is quite big for things like, especially a few years ago anyway, like drag racing and stuff.
Yeah, they just down like a big thing, and then it got really popular with like Fast and Furious.
Yeah. See, we don't have too much of that here in the UK. We get it on country roads and things like that, or but we've got like circuits, or like Brands Hatch or Silverstone and things like where people can. Oh, there's other circuits too, but those are the main ones I know. But where people can go and have these kind of little races and practices, but you still get like teenagers who do silly stuff. So, whilst this law may seem obvious to modern drivers, we got to remember here that it was enacted during the early days of automobile regulation. So this is when they were still putting together traffic safety codes, and kind of society was finding its feet with cars being a regular thing on the road. So that's that. What are we moving on to next? And it's another one for Alabama, but it also affects Kentucky and Georgia. It's illegal to have ice cream cones in the back pockets. And there is a reason for it. So the historical origin. This strange law originated in the 19th century when horse theft was a significant concern in rural communities around across South America. So what thieves would do is place these ice cream cones in their back pocket to lure horses away from their owners. And when the horse followed for a treat, the thief could claim the animal had followed willingly. So the response to this was that multiple states, including these 3 states, enacted specific prohibitions against carrying ice cream in back pockets to close this legal loophole and protect valuable livestock. Though horse theft is now rare, these laws remain on the books as curious relics of bygone era in agriculture. Sorry, I'm really not feeling well today. Curious relics of a bygone era in agricultural communities. And this peculiar regulation reveals how specific criminal schemes prompted equally specific legal responses, creating laws that seem absurd without their historical context. So, yeah, not allowed to walk around Alabama, Kentucky, or Georgia with an ice cream cone
away from their owners. That's crazy. Like, it's crazy because, like, when you think about it on the surface, you're like, that's a stupid law.
It sounds like it, but this one we did have some historical context for, which makes sense. And yeah, Christina, leave the horses alone. Agree. So Alaska's got some funny laws. Some really funny laws. So the last frontier state has some particularly unusual laws concerning its wildlife, especially regarding moose, Alaska's largest land mammal and a symbol of the state's wilderness. So it's illegal to push a live moose out of a moving aeroplane. That is a law. This law likely arose from concerns about hunting practices or animal welfare. There is a hunting etiquette law. You cannot whisper in someone's ear whilst they are moose hunting. And I speculate that is likely to prevent startling the hunter or disturbing the hunt. But it is a law. Moose sobriety, and UK has got a very similar one, but it's for cows as opposed to moose. It is strictly forbidden to serve alcoholic beverages to a moose within Fairbanks city limits. One must wonder about the incident that prompted this legislation. So we've got some of these, I think, in more detail. But as a little note here, these laws reflect Alaska's unique relationship with its wildlife and the challenges of regulating human to animal interactions in America's most sparsely populated state.
Not Neil saying he got people.
Oh wow.
This is wait, in Canada. Okay, we're talking about Alaska. I was like, okay, no. Oh my god. How does that work?
I don't know.
Messing with us? Are you messing with us, Neil?
No, these are genuine. Honestly, got right. Every law I've got here now in front of me, and anyone I ever do on one of this series of lives, are genuine laws that are on the law books. I promise. So we go into a little bit more detail here. So pushing a live moose out of an airplane is legally prohibited. Alaska's wildlife protection laws make this oddly specific prohibition that addresses a scenario most would consider improbable. The law makes it explicitly illegal to push a live moose from an aircraft in flight. Whilst it may seem humorous, this regulation exists at the intersection of Alaska's unique aviation culture, where bush planes are common transportation. So this doesn't apply, I guess. They're not, when they weren't thinking of a Boeing 737 or something like that. You know, they were like thinking of a smaller bush plane. Wildlife management concerns in a state with abundant moose populations and animal cruelty prevention measures tailored to regional circumstances. This law represents the distinctive blend of wildlife conservation and aviation regulations found in Alaska's legal code. It addresses what would be both dangerous for the animal and potentially hazardous for anyone unfortunate enough to be beneath the fallen moose. And that is an excellent question I do not have the answer to, Lisa. I don't know how we get a moose on a plane. I'm curious now.
But it's probably like through those like animal transportation planes, probably, right?
It could be, yeah. But then what if you transport?
How do they transport animals into the zoo and stuff like that?
It might be. It could be. It could be. And I suppose it's plausible that people might push a moose out to, you know, to when you're trying to shed weight, you know, like sometimes they dump fuel or something. It could be that thing. It's just very specific to a moose, not any other animal.
But how did Neil? Now that's my Roman Empire right now. How did Neil know that the moose was drunk? Because Neil said it was eating apples. But how did you know it was drunk?
Well,
anyways, we'll probably get to that slide more in detail, right?
Yeah, we'll look into that. But
I'm like, oh, how do you know if a moose is drunk?
Well, apples are used to make cider. It's plausible.
Oh, so he ate
some animals can't metabolize, and you know, they could potentially get drunk off these things.
How do you get a moose on a plane? Sounds like the start of like a joke.
It sounds like we need to deep dive that one.
But when she said, "How do you get a moose on a plane?" I'm like, it sounds like one of those like third grade joke book jokes.
Yeah. Yes. So Khaleesi and Marie, yeah, so it's fermented.
Okay.
Also says, yeah. So yeah, when the apples are older and you know kind of come in after a while, they just start to ferment, and that's what kind of gives them their properties, I guess. I should know this. My parents owned a pub. They're both, you know, they're licensees. I'm a licensee.
Oh.
Arizona's donkey dilemma. So we're moving now on to Arizona. We're moving away from moose. We're now into donkeys.
Oh, okay. I thought we were doing like one slide for each. So I thought we were going to go deeper into the moose's sobriety one. Okay, so now we're in Arizona.
We'll do a whole show on that.
The donkey laws.
The donkey laws. So in Arizona, donkeys are explicitly prohibited from sleeping in bathtubs throughout Arizona. And there is a history behind this one. So this seemingly random restriction actually has a fascinating historical basis. So I'm excited because I've got history here now. In the 1920s, there was an incident when a merchant's donkey, which was accustomed to sleeping in an abandoned bathtub, was swept away during a flood. The rescue operation was costly and prompted this legislation. So that's what happened. I've got slides to go into that one a little bit deeper with some humorous photos. Also, Arizona law also prohibits hunting camels, which is a remnant from when the US Army experimented with camel transportation. In Glendale, driving cars in reverse is technically illegal as well. Just another little interesting fact. So these laws reflect Arizona's unique history, from its desert environment to specific incidents that prompted legislators to create these now curious regulations. Oh, I thought I had deeper slides on them. Never mind. However, mispronouncing Arkansas is illegal. So, in 1881, Arkansas passed legislation officially declaring the correct pronunciation of the state's name as Arkansas rather than Arkansas, which is how it looks like it's spelled. The reason is because the law aimed to preserve the state's French and Native American linguistic heritage and establish a consistent identity. And the enforcement, well, no one has been prosecuted under this law in modern times. It remains technically legal to deliberately mispronounce the state's name. So this unique linguistic regulation demonstrates how language, identity, and law can intersect to preserve cultural heritage. So, interesting.
Arkansas rather than Arkansas.
Yes, so it is illegal to
say Arkansas.
Yeah, I think you've got to be in Arkansas, but it's illegal to refer to it as Arkansas. That's really interesting, Joe. And yes, it is actually a law. Donkeys are not allowed in bathtubs. Where were we? Arizona. That's it.
Yeah, there's also an archuleta. Is Joy messing with us? Everybody's just messing with us. No, Neil really had a drunken moose. Arkansas. Oh, so instead of emphasis on the K, it's Arkansas.
Yeah.
Instead of Arkansas.
Yeah. Yeah, it's illegal in Arkansas. It's illegal to call it Arkansas. So we've got California now. The Golden State has no shortage of unusual regulations across its various municipalities, ranging from fashion restrictions to fruit consumption guidance. And I think I've got a slide on each of these, the three of them. So, firstly, there's a housecoat driving ban. Women may not drive whilst wearing housecoats. This gendered clothing restriction dates back to an era of a more conservative dress code. Then we've got bathing fruit regulations. It is illegal to eat an orange whilst taking a bath. This is all in California, by the way. The origin of this particular law remains obscure, though it may relate to plumbing concerns. Hollywood livestock limitations. In Hollywood, it's driving more than 2,000 sheep down the boulevard at once is explicitly forbidden. Smaller herds apparently are acceptable. These regulations reflect.
I'm like, is that before rights?
Is that what?
You said, I was like, oh no, driving more. I'm thinking like herding 2,000 or more sheep. Okay, driving 2,000 sheep. You don't have an extra slide on that one? What is that one all about?
I have got an extra slide. Don't worry, it's there.
Okay.
These regulations reflect California's unique blend of agricultural history, entertainment industry specifics, and occasionally arbitrary restrictions that have never been removed from the books. So, women cannot drive wearing housecoats.
Get prosecuted for him? Is that what it said at the bottom? Sorry.
Oh, sorry. I missed that.
Bottom, yeah. It's like, I can't see it because it's too small. What did it say?
So in the note at the bottom, it says, breaking these laws is unlikely to result in prosecution today, but they remain technically valid legislation.
So you can't really, there's no real consequence, but it's still there.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of these laws, there's going to be no real consequence. But, I mean, they're daft, but there is some historical importance. And, then they kind of reflect that the way society, thought at the time they were enacted. So women cannot drive wearing housecoats. So this California statute dates back to early automotive regulations and societal standards of decorum. The law specifically prohibits women from operating motor vehicles whilst wearing housecoats or similar casual attire. The historical context is that in the early 20th century, driving laws often included regulations about proper attire, reflecting concerns about both safety and public decency. Because people back then, they used to wear driving gloves and goggles and all kinds of weird stuff, didn't they? And like special clothes. The modern status is, though technically still on the books, this regulation is completely unenforced and viewed as an anachronistic curiosity in contemporary California. Do you know, I'm really regretting the big words now. Now I've got a migraine.
Do you want me to help you read them, or I can read the next slide?
Yeah, if you want to. Yeah, you go for it. I'll finish this one and I'll let you have one. Cultural significance. The law represents how gender-specific regulations once governed many aspects of women's public behavior, including their clothing choices. This bizarre regulation highlights how societal norms and expectations of propriety have dramatically changed over time, whilst many outdated laws remain technically valid. So this is the orange, taking a bath. You can't eat one. Do you want to go for that?
Yeah, I'll give you a little break. Okay, so no eating an orange while taking a bath in California. This baffling California regulation prohibits consuming oranges whilst bathing, a bizarrely specific restriction with no clear historical explanation. Mysterious origins. Dun, dun, dun. Unlike many bizarre laws, historical records provide no clear incident or rationale for this peculiar prohibition. So it just came out of nowhere. Somebody just decided to do it. Some historians suggest it may have been related to concerns about citrus oils reacting with bath water or creating slipping hazards. Health speculation. So that was the health speculation. Legal status. This law remains technically on the books, though completely unenforced, preserved by legislative inertia rather than purpose. This regulation perfectly exemplifies how laws can outlast both their usefulness and their original rationale, becoming legal curiosities rather than practical governance.
Yeah. This is interesting, right? And here's the sheep one you wanted. Do you want it, or do you want me to read it?
I can read one more. Hollywood's sheep traffic regulation. So this is the one. This is exactly how I imagined it too, like sheep herding it. But it's like driving, like you're driving it in something. Okay. In one of California's most peculiar ordinances, it remains illegal to drive more than 2,000 sheep down Hollywood Boulevard at one time. This law likely dates back to when Los Angeles still retained much of its agricultural character. So maybe it meant like caravans carrying them or something. In early Los Angeles, moving livestock through the growing urban area was a common practice as agriculture gave way to the entertainment industry. So this is before it was like Hollywood. It's like they look like Welsh sheep. They're like waving or something with their glow sticks.
Yeah, no, I was about to say, like, yeah, they do look like Welsh sheep with the glow sticks and everything.
While certainly not enforced today, this law serves as a charming reminder of Hollywood's transformation from rural countryside to global entertainment capital. Many cities across America have similar livestock ordinances that were never removed from municipal codes, despite urbanization rendering them obsolete. So, the sheep are having a day. Look at the clothes. I know, right? That's what I was thinking too. Like immediately when I see. But it's funny because it says driving them, but for some reason, like mentally and even the picture, the AI pic even thought like driving was like sheep, because that's how I imagine them, like when you herd sheep, like, and I imagine it to clog the roads.
Yeah, no, I think that's what driving like is, kind of directing, because like
it's directing them. Okay, I'm
yeah,
thinking
like in Wales, it would be called driving sheep, driving cattle. It's like because you're steering them as well, because you're trying to get them down the road. Then you might need them to do a turn into a field, and technically, you kind of got to make all that work. So I think that the technical
2,000 sheep. I'm thinking like in a bunch of caravans or something, like, because I'm thinking about like full time like agriculture, like you're going down, like buy a sheep or something, like you're selling sheep.
Yes, Neil, it is the Lady Gaga fan club. Right. California again. This one is this is a bizarre law. Is illegal to cry on the witness stand. The legal rationale is this unusual California courtroom regulation prohibits emotional displays, specifically crying whilst giving testimony. The rule aims to maintain decorum and prevent emotional manipulation of juries. Practical enforcement. Judges have significant gosh, I'm falling over myself now. Judges have significant discretion in how strictly they enforce this rule. Most allow reasonable emotional responses whilst preventing excessive displays that might disrupt proceedings. Can you imagine, Matt, if Amber Heard had got California, which was her choice of venue? That whole crying and my dog stepped on a bee.
Oh my gosh.
It would have been breaking the law.
So that's crazy. So it's still in, is it still in regulation like now in the 2025?
Yeah, it is.
Wow.
It is. If a law has been repealed, I will say it's been repealed, and it will be written on the thing. But yeah, if I don't say it's been repealed,
still there, but like they're not enforced. I'm saying, is it still in? Oh well, it says the courts have.
The courts can, and it sounds like they do. I haven't got specific cases, but it sounds like it is the judge's discretion on whether to enforce it or not, and how to enforce it. So there's been ethical debates about this. Legal scholars continue to debate whether such regulations inappropriately suppress genuine human emotion or serve necessary functions in ensuring fair trials based on evidence rather than sympathy. This regulation highlights the complex balance that courts must strike between human emotion and procedural formality, revealing how legal systems attempt, sometimes awkwardly, to regulate emotional expression in formal settings. Unlike many bizarre laws that seem purely absurd, this prohibition reflects genuine concerns about how emotions might influence judicial proceedings. Do you know, I wonder if there's if you can get away with garden variety emotional displays?
Garden variety kind?
Yeah.
Not full. I wonder if it's just like one tier.
Mm.
Like how like more sobbing as opposed to just
Or maybe
crying.
there's someone counting how many tears or how many times you sniff. I don't know. I'm not sure how it works. I'm guessing hysterical
Sniffling, counting, sobbing.
Yeah, like when a child cries and it's it can't breathe and it's like and it does all that, like that over emotion where it's just that they're just over egging it. I wonder if it's like that, like it's okay to look a bit sad and have a few tears, but like a full display of hysteria is not allowed, which would make sense. Well, to a point.
Mm-hmm.
Colorado we're in now. Colorado's odd ordinances. So we've got 3 here. Denver's Sunday driving restriction. You may not drive a black car on Sundays in Denver. This curious regulation likely belongs to the category of unenforceable blue laws designed to regulate Sunday activities, though why black cars specifically were targeted remains unclear. Tag freedom. Despite what the stern warnings say, furniture tags stating "do not remove" can legally be removed by consumers. So basically, this law is just you have the freedom to remove tags off furniture, even if they say "do not remove." Mm-hmm. This clarification addresses a common misconception about federal mattress tags, which only prohibit removal by retailers. Cripple Creek's horse elevation law. I did not think I was going to be able to say that. Oh, hold on. Don't remove the tag is nuts. Do you know over in the UK, if you're supposed to, it invalidates in warranties if you remove off any chairs or sofas or anything. There's tags that saying that say fire hazard, and if you remove them, it may invalidate warranties.
I've seen it on mattress. Like it'll actually say,
Yeah.
like, do not remove the tag.
That's the thing. Cripple Creek's horse elevation law. Bringing horses above the ground floor of buildings is illegal in Cripple Creek. This regulation most likely dates from the mining town's wilder days, when such occurrences might have been more common than one would expect. So, I don't know what Cripple Creek used to get up to, but it sounds like it involved horses. Colorado's blend of mining history, frontier culture, and religious influence has left a fascinating tapestry of unusual legislation across the state. Connecticut, and we have a puppy. Connecticut's strange restrictions. Hartford's unusual prohibitions. Connecticut's capital city has some particularly distinctive regulations on its books. So this is Hartford specifically. Canine education ban. It is illegal to educate dogs.
Can't teach them anything. Not basic training or more advanced skills. What?
Yeah.
No,
so it's illegal.
Begging. What else is the dog training?
It's illegal to educate dogs in Hartford. The law doesn't specify what constitutes education, whether it's basic training or more advanced skills, leaving this prohibition open to interpretation. So I don't know. I think that's what it's saying. Is like it doesn't say whether it's just teaching them things like sit or stay, or whether it's trying to teach them a science degree.
Like I wonder if it means like education as in like when you train like dogs to like attack and stuff like that.
Yeah, it could be, or to steal.
Mm-hmm.
It could be stuff like that. It's so open to interpretation, though. So I think that's why what makes it an unusual law is because it's not specific. Advertising restrictions. Balloons with advertising messages are banned in Hartford, likely a measure aimed at controlling visual pollution in the historic city. And then the bouncing pickle test. Perhaps most famously, pickles must bounce to be officially considered pickles under Connecticut state law. This unusual quality control measure reportedly dates back to 1948. So, good night, Neil. Thank you for joining. Yeah, so there's a little note here actually about the dog education ban. It says it likely stems from concerns about noise disturbances or perhaps from a time when dog schools were seen as frivolous uses of resources. So there is that. And we have Delaware. So Delaware law makes it illegal to sell or barter dog or cat fur, even hair that has been naturally shed by the animal. This regulation aims to prevent exploitation of companion animals. The penalties for it are quite serious. They include fines of up to $2,500 for each offence. This significant financial penalty reflects the state's commitment to animal welfare. And then there are additional sanctions as well. So beyond monetary fines, those convicted may face a 15-year ban on owning pets. And this extended prohibition serves as both punishment and preventative measure against repeat offences. Unlike some of the more whimsical laws we've explored, Delaware's fur regulations represent modern animal protection concerns and are actively enforced. So these are regularly enforced. It sounds daft, but I can understand where it's coming from. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. No, for sure.
Florida. I don't know if I put the Florida farting law in here.
So which one law?
The Florida party. There was a law that says you cannot break wind in Florida.
Oh yeah, that's the one that
after
he had
6 p.m. on Thursdays. Swimsuit serenading.
So said Fairly Girls Not Welcome. Sorry. The chat be cracking me up. Welcome. Okay.
Oh yeah. So, I don't know what happened to the image. Sorry about that. But swimsuit serenading. Singing in public whilst wearing a swimsuit is illegal in Florida. So people need to tell Lauren this. This particular restriction likely stems from concerns about decorum in beach activities. And then we got, this one made my eldest laugh. There is a ban against dwarf tossing. Dwarf tossing. Florida explicitly prohibits dwarf tossing contests in bars or restaurants. This law passed in 1989, so that's not that long ago. It's in my lifetime. Was created on grounds of safety and dignity after the controversial activity gained popularity. And then there are elephant parking fees. In Orlando, you must pay parking meter fees for elephants, just as you would for vehicles. This unusual regulation reflects the city's history with circuses and traveling shows. The Sunshine State's eclectic mix of tourist destinations, beach communities, and entertainment values has led to some of America's most colourful local ordinances. Whilst the swimsuit singing ban may be overlooked, the dwarf tossing prohibition represents a more serious concern for human dignity and safety that continues to be enforced. These are all still in force. Right, so here we are. And then we're going to debunk that no farting law I just talked about. So the claim was internet forums, social media posts, and weird law compilations frequently cite a supposed Florida statute prohibiting the public flatulence after 6 p.m. on Thursdays, often claiming violators face fines or community service. Through examination of Florida's state statutes, municipal codes, and historical ordinances reveals absolutely no evidence of any law regulating flatulence at any time or place within the state. And yes, I did actually go and research, is this a real thing? And no, it's not. So that's dedication. Get it on this channel. Legal expert consensus. Florida attorneys, legal scholars, and state officials uniformly confirm this law does not exist. No court records show anyone ever being charged with public flatulence in Florida's history.
Oh, wow.
And yeah.
I thought it was a law.
No, well, I had it on my slide ready to go, but I went and double checked and debunked it. So here I am debunking it instead.
Oh, okay. So, I was like, wait, I thought it was a law.
Yeah. So did I for a while, but I'm happy to say I did some thorough research, and no, it's not. Whilst this flatulence regulation is fictitious, Florida does genuinely have unusual laws, including bans on dwarf tossing competitions, restrictions on parking elephants at meters without paying the fee, and prohibitions against singing in public whilst wearing a swimsuit. This case highlights the importance of verifying legal claims by requesting specific statute numbers, and there is an example of a statute, rather than accepting amusing but unsubstantiated assertions about a particular legislation. Is it? I haven't heard that one. Midget wrestling is approved. Georgia. The giraffe and fried chicken laws. These are really good ones. Hopefully this will make you laugh. The Peach State maintains several curious regulations that reflect its unique cultural heritage and practical concerns. So there are giraffe restrictions. It is illegal to tie a giraffe to a telephone pole or street lamp in Georgia. This seemingly random prohibition likely stems from concerns about circus animals or traveling shows. And I've got a slide on each of these, I think, except for, no, on the giraffe and the chicken. I haven't got one on the hood. Right, so then we got fried chicken etiquette. In Gainesville, Georgia, the poultry capital of the world, fried chicken must legally be eaten with your hands. Using utensils is against local ordinance. And then we have hood prohibition. In Dublin, Georgia, wearing hoods in public is prohibited. This regulation dates back to anti-Ku Klux Klan legislation aimed at preventing mass gatherings. These laws range from the whimsical to the serious, with the hood prohibition representing efforts to address genuine social concerns, while the fried chicken regulation celebrates local culinary traditions. So, Georgia's giraffe law. That's quite a good visual, though. Right? So, and this is what the law actually reads. No person shall tie or tether a giraffe to any telephone pole, street lamp, or other public utility structure within city limits. This regulation joins other unusual animal restrictions across North America, including Pennsylvania's prohibition on keeping more than 6 unrelated chickens in a hotel room, and Nevada's ban on camel riding on public highways. And yes, we have got them in here too. The giraffe tethering law represents a fascinating intersection of animal welfare concerns, property protection, and the peculiar specificity. Oh, I'm struggling now. And the peculiar specificity. I can't even say it. Can you say that word?
The peculiar specificity.
Yes, that'll do. That's close enough. That sometimes, specificity. That sometimes characterizes municipal ordinances. And now we have Georgia's fried chicken etiquette law. So in Gainesville, Georgia, a city that proudly calls itself the poultry capital of the world, there exists a genuine ordinance declaring that fried chicken must be eaten with your hands. Using cutlery to consume this local delicacy is technically against the law. I sound like I'm advertising the chicken, don't I? Cultural
capital of the world. I said you proudly called itself the poultry capital of the world.
I know, right? I just need a slot on the TV now.
Mm-hmm. Be the new Colonel.
Yeah.
Sanders.
Yeah, Sanders. Yeah, we need to make that distinction between Colonel Kurtz.
Yeah.
Couldn't be Colonel Kurtz. One of a kind. Cultural significance. This law celebrates Southern culinary traditions and Gainesville poultry industry heritage. It reinforces local identity through food customs. Practical application. While largely ceremonial, the law has been enforced as a tourist attraction. In 2009, a visitor was symbolically arrested for eating fried chicken with a fork in a publicity stunt. Legal standing, although it remains on the books, this is considered a tongue-in-cheek ordinance that promotes tourism rather than a seriously enforced regulation. So, okay, where are we now? We're in Kansas. No singing the alphabet on the street at night. Oh, good night, Lisa. Thank you for joining us. So, amongst North America's most peculiar municipal ordinances, this Topeka. Am I saying that right? Topeka?
I think it's Topeka. I don't know. I'm not sure.
Oh,
Topeka, Kansas.
Topeka, Kansas. Right, we'll go with that then. Amongst North America's most peculiar municipal ordinances, this Topeka regulation specifically prohibits the public singing of the alphabet during nighttime hours on city streets. Origins. The law likely came as a response to university students and revelers causing disturbances in residential areas after dark. Enforcement. Though technically still valid, this regulation is rarely, if ever, enforced by modern police departments in Topeka. Similar laws. Many small towns have similarly specific noise ordinances targeting particular behaviours that once caused community disturbances. This bizarrely specific prohibition demonstrates how local ordinances often address highly particular community concerns, creating legal oddities that persist long after their original context has faded. Do you want to do the next one for me?
Yep, I'll do the next one.
Thank you.
Illegal to serve wine in teacups in Kansas. So this unusual Kansas statute makes it specifically illegal to serve wine in teacups or other non-standard drinking vessels. The regulation emerged during the state's complicated relationship with alcohol prohibition and regulation, preventing establishments from, or the law likely served multiple purposes, preventing establishments from disguising alcohol service during prohibition, ensuring proper portion control for regulated substances, maintaining clear distinctions between establishments licensed to serve alcohol and those that weren't. While seemingly trivial, this regulation represents broader attempts to control how and where alcohol should be consumed. In a state with a strong temperance influence, Kansas has a complex history with alcohol regulation, including a prohibition period that lasted from 1881 to 1948, longer than the national prohibition era. This peculiar law offers insight into how regulatory systems attempt to close loopholes and enforce compliance through increasingly specific prohibitions.
Oh, that's interesting. We have Louisiana. So we've got the unsolicited food prohibition. Sending unsolicited food to someone can result in a substantial £500 fine. I don't know why I put it in pounds because I did dollars earlier. Sorry, force of habit. This unusual regulation may have originated from concerns about food tampering or harassment. Then we got women's driving restrictions. An archaic and unenforced law states that women must have their husband wave a flag before driving a car. And yes, that is a law. This regulation is a relic of early automobile days and gender discrimination. And yet it is still on the books. No long-haul sailing. Living on a boat for more than 30 days is prohibited in Louisiana waters. A regulation known as the ban on long-haul sailing. This may relate to residency requirements or tax considerations. So, as a note here, Louisiana's food delivery fine is one of the few bizarre laws that carries a substantial monetary penalty if violated. Thank you, Dr. Royster. That's so sweet. These regulations reflect Louisiana's unique cultural history, blending French colonial influence, maritime traditions, and southern social customs into a distinctive legal landscape. So, let's see. Got Maryland and Michigan. Interesting ones here. So, Baltimore. Is Baltimore in Maryland or is it in Michigan? It's in Maryland, isn't it?
Yeah, Baltimore is in Maryland.
That's it. Okay. Baltimore has a sink cleaning ban. It is illegal to scrub your sink in Baltimore. This unusual restriction likely relates to water pollution concerns, potentially prohibiting the disposal of certain cleaning chemicals down drains. And then in Michigan, you've got a denture permission law. In Michigan, an archaic law, which is still in force, states that women must get written permission from their husbands before getting fitted for false teeth. This reflects outdated views on marital authority. And then we've got New Jersey. Wearing bulletproof vests whilst committing crimes adds extra charges in New Jersey. Unlike many bizarre laws, this one serves a clear public safety purpose and is actively enforced. These regulations span from the practical to the outdated. The bulletproof vest law represents modern criminal legislation, while the denture permission requirement reflects historical gender inequalities that, while still on the books, would be unenforceable today. And now we have New York and Ohio. We have some more Sunday rules.
Yeah, they have a lot of laws.
Yeah. Well, some interesting ones. Blue laws regulations restricting activities on Sundays for religious reasons were once common across America. Many strange examples remain technically valid, and we've covered quite a few of them already. But this is New York and Ohio, and there's also Minnesota, actually. I think I added that last minute. So in New York, there is a shoe shine restriction. Shining shoes, this feels like a tongue twister at this point. Shining shoes after 1 p.m. on Sundays is illegal in New York State. This regulation aimed to limit commercial activities on the Sabbath while still allowing morning shoe shines before church. Then we've got Ohio's cereal sales ban. Selling cornflakes on Sundays is specifically banned in Ohio. Why cornflakes were singled out among all breakfast cereals remains a mystery of legislative history. And then in Minnesota, we have a burger ban. Yes, Joe, it is still enforced. Eating hamburgers on Sundays is technically illegal in Minnesota. This unusual dietary restriction may have related to meat consumption practices on the Sabbath. These blue laws reflect America's Protestant heritage and the historical desire to preserve Sunday as a day of worship and rest rather than commerce or indulgence. I know, right, Christina? When I went to Spain recently on my holiday, we went to, I can't remember where we went to. I want to say Cadiz on a Sunday, and everything was shut. So that was fun. It was still pretty, but it would have been nice. Like there wasn't much open at all. Pennsylvania's bizarre driving law. So, under an archaic Pennsylvania statute, drivers must stop every mile at night to send up a rocket signal. This regulation dates from an era before headlights and road illumination were standard. Then there's another law. If horses approach on the road, drivers are legally required to disassemble their car and hide the components in a nearby bush. This prevented horses from being frightened by these strange new machines. So you can hear like when the period was for these laws. These regulations emerged during the transitional period when automobiles began sharing roads with traditional horse-drawn transportation, causing significant conflicts and safety concerns. These laws remain on the books despite being completely impractical with modern vehicles. They serve as fascinating historical documents that capture the social friction created by technological change in the early 20th century America. And we have a little bit more on the horse. So, in quotes at the top there, it say, if horses approach, you must disassemble your car and hide it in bushes. That is the law. This remarkable Pennsylvania statute dates from the early automobile era when cars were rare, experimental machines that terrified horses accustomed to having the roads to themselves. Practical impossibility now. Early automobiles were simpler than modern vehicles, but disassembling one roadside would still require hours of work and specialized tools. Historical significance. This law represents a fascinating snapshot of a transitional moment in American transportation history when legislators struggled to integrate new technologies into existing systems. Though technically still valid, this law is a perfect example of legislation rendered obsolete by technological progress and changing social norms. I love Loretta Lynn's too, Marie. Well, I like her. Are we talking about the singer here?
Loretta Lynn's? Is she talking about a restaurant?
Is that a restaurant or the singer?
Well, I think, I don't know. Laura said a lot of places here in the U.S. when we go to Loretta Lynn's in the summer. I thought it was a place like a restaurant or something, or
But it says her town is like that. Her.
Oh, around her. Oh, Loretta Lynn. Oh, maybe that is a singer. I don't know.
I don't know, Laura. No, I'm curious. What's that mean?
She's an American country music singer. You know her?
I've heard. Yeah, I've listened to her stuff. I enjoy American country music.
Oh, okay. So her town is like that.
Oh, Joe, I love Amsterdam. Really love Amsterdam. If anyone hasn't been to Amsterdam, they really need to go. It's incredible. It's one of the most beautiful places I've ever been. But they do, apart from the drunk tourists that would pee on Joe's front door. So, why do these laws still exist? Okay, so we've got a few reasons. Historical inertia. Removing laws requires active legislation effort, whilst leaving outdated regulations on the books costs nothing. Legislative complexity. The process of repealing laws can be bureaucratically complex and politically unrewarding. Legal precedent. Some bizarre laws establish important principles that might be undermined by repeal. Cultural heritage. Some communities view these quirky laws as part of their unique identity and historical character. Selective enforcement. Law enforcement generally ignores these regulations, removing practical pressure for repeal. These legal curiosities provide fascinating windows into our past whilst highlighting the sometimes glacial pace of legal evolution in modern democracies. And then we have this. Embrace the quirks of American law. These bizarre regulations offer more than just amusement. They provide unique insights into our legal and cultural history. They stand as peculiar moments to specific historical moments. They stand as peculiar monuments to specific historical moments, social concerns, and regulatory approaches that might otherwise be forgotten. Next time you travel across North America, and I know many of you are resident there, but for those of you that aren't, well, no, I suppose for those of you that are as well, it's a huge country, so there's a lot of traveling just to even get to the next state. Next time you travel across North America, remember that behind many of these strange laws lie fascinating stories about how communities responded to unusual challenges, the evolution of social norms and cultural expectations, the sometimes curious relationship between specific incidents and broad legislation, the remarkable persistence of legal structures once established. As bizarre as they seem today, these laws remind us that legal systems are living documents that reflect the values, concerns, and sometimes peculiar preoccupations of the societies that create them. Whether protecting donkeys from bathtubs or preventing draft-related lamppost damage, these quirky regulations continue to entertain, educate, and occasionally protect us in unexpected ways. And that is my slideshow.
I'm interested in looking up all the codes and stuff for it because I swear I thought the dang Florida fart law was for real too.
I did too, but it is really not. There was
I got to sleuth all the laws.
Well, I'll send you the slides. You can read because I obviously changed them from what I did send you originally. I can send you the slides. You're more than welcome. For the British one, though, because obviously I'm trained with British law, I've got all the laws there for all the various and there are some absolutely wild ones, by the way.
The cool
And some
thing
of
about
them,
it is that they don't enforce them or whatever. Like they're just like laws that are just like fun to talk about.
yeah,
It's not
that's the whole point of this. I mean, yeah, this is the point of this kind of like type of show. It's like these are not habitually enforced. You know, there will be some that are enforced. There will be some where they will be discretionary because it's down to a judge. But most of them will be unenforceable for whatever reason. They've just not been repealed. But it's just fun that was once someone sat like in the UK, it would be in Parliament. Someone sat in Parliament and actually, wrote these into law and did that. And they're still there just because there's no point wasting time and effort to remove them, but people are just not enforcing them. But it becomes an interesting footnote in history then. Especially where there's a story like the donkey in the bathtub. There was a story behind
I
that.
was really about to say that one. It's so funny that we just said Loretta Lynn has a ranch in Tennessee that you stay at. So it was both a place and a person.
Oh,
So
okay.
I didn't read it wrong because I was like, wait, is Loretta Lynn's a place? So thank you, Marie, for clarifying that.
Yeah, thank you, Marie. I love the singer. I love country music. I really do.
Yeah, that's crazy that you clocked that because I did not know who Loretta Lynn is.
Did you not?
I thought it was like a pancake place or something. Loretta Lynn's. Like a little bed and
Isn't that
breakfast.
Wendy's?
Yeah, that's funny.
Don't you like? There's when I was in Nevada, I went to somewhere. I could swear it was a Wendy's or something, but it had pancakes. It was just outside of Las Vegas. Well, it was in Las Vegas, but it was kind of just on the outskirts.
Denny's is pancakes. Wendy's is hamburgers. I don't know if Wendy's has pancakes.
Oh, what does
Or it could have been
pancakes?
just like a pancake spot called
Yeah,
Wendy's.
it could have been. Yeah, to be fair, it was nice though. Wherever it was really nice. Really nice.
But that's what Loretta Lynn sounded like a little like Cracker Barrel style place. Like I'm going to Loretta Lynn's.
So that was our first country. What did we think? Did
the North American tour of crazy laws?
Yeah.
The sheep with the glow sticks were cool. I enjoyed the AI pictures.
I know they were. I can go wild with them a little bit. It's really good because like when I on Tuesdays, normally on Tuesdays, I don't know if it's going to be Tuesday next week, but I do with Casty the historical one.
Mm-hmm.
But I was like, no, I did start the slides and I was like, oh, AI, great. But then I thought, no, these are real crimes. I need to use crime scene photos, which now I have to put out a disclaimer. But I was like, no, I took out the AI where I could and put in actual images, which like we did Lizzie Borden. That was like an 1890s murder.
Mm-hmm.
So crimes photos of the time are not really, there's not loads of them, so I was quite limited. So I had to use a mix of AI and real photos. But yeah, it's going to be interesting, like how we did it. But I got to with these because it's all about the bizarre and the ridiculous. I got to have some fun then with the images and to see what AI could cook up, and it didn't disappoint.
No, it didn't. But yeah, I appreciate everybody for showing up and thanks for giving me. So I have a show tonight at 8. I'm doing a Drake versus UMG deep docket dive with Pam. So y'all can check me out tonight over there or here on my channel. So I'm gonna be prepping the last stuff for that here. So
what time is that?
It's gonna be at 9 Eastern. I don't know what time that is for you.
I think it's like 1 in the morning. I don't think I can really ever get to your nighttime ones. It's like 1, 2 o'clock in the morning for me.
Yeah, I'm more on like UK time for the morning show than for the night show.
Yeah,
For the night show,
that
I'm more
works.
on US time.
I do come into you. I come along to the morning ones, but I try to. I do try to stay up for the late ones. I find it really hard. Like I can't get to Lauren and Omar's either because it's just too late for me.
Yeah.
And little one's going to be heading back to school soon, so I can't go back to living on Pacific times anymore. It's too much.
Drake
Because
and Blake
then I'm having
said millennial. Yeah, they
yeah.
are.
Yeah.
Everyone does the same stuff.
Yeah, I do catch. Yeah, I'm the same, Joe. I catch up the next day and try and go around and watch at least 1 or 2 content creators
replay
shows in solidarity. But you are going to be on at 9 Eastern.
Yep, I'll be on
Everyone
at
go check that. And go and watch your videos as well. We're trying to get them monetized, so that's important.
That would be great. Any support is always welcome, but I appreciate it. Thank you so much, Leanne.
Oh, thank you for joining me, and thank you to the mods again as well for your unwavering support and loyalty and looking after us all. Really appreciate you all. Thank you to everyone who came. I am sorry, I was feeling quite unwell, so I just couldn't get my words out sometimes. So I did what I could. Next week, I think we're doing UK laws, and there are some great ones there, which are funny. Tomorrow, it's myself and DFJ at 4 p.m. Eastern, and we're doing our weekly question and answers on the Lively Wayfarer case. So any questions you've got, do put them in the chat, and we'll try to get to them all. And we will be going over the filings. Like we do a recap of what the filings were, and then answer any questions that anyone's got. And next week, I don't know if Cassie's going to be able to join me, but I've got Jack the Ripper for the historic crimes and trials. So that'll be great. But thank you, everyone. I'm going to pop off now. CJ, I love you to bits. Thank you so much for joining me again. And I know you got a lot going on, so I appreciate you taking time out.
Yeah, no problem. Thank you.
All right. Take care, everyone. Thank you.